So going over the midday report, big volatility is back today. Currently, the S&P is down 4%, NASDAQ down 2.8% via the futures. And we know now why the brokers have not lowered their stock index futures margins, still very high. And you see, let's start with the top left, Cobra 3 E-mini S&P up 1,500 intra-trade. Big gap down overnight, huge gap down. And you see there was a big gap up, and then a big gap down, and this was right here was last Friday's big move up, and then we've basically filled that gap with a gap overnight. The market, the 24-hour session, you'll not see a gap, but it's basically giving back all of last Friday's gains, and then working on last week's gains as well now. So we shall see how this market ends up. It's at a point where it looks a little wobbly. Looks like it could be, almost looks like it could be in for a flash crash, or we're kind of at that inflection point where we're at a flash crash, continued selling, or we are going to see further, or we're going to see a bounce. I'm going to show you the market internals. So here are the market internals. See what we had on the advanced decline line was less than minus 1,000 for most of the day, the last 2 days, while the NASDAQ was up over 1% yesterday. I know that this is a broader market index and the NASDAQ 100 is narrow, but still for the NASDAQ to go up on both days when the broader market is down, the steep downside, broader market, advanced decline line, it's a lot of divergence, and today it really catches up. Minus 2,700, very steep, and there is no bounce in that. We had a bounce that opened, had some good trades. The tick, NYC tick, is hanging out down here. Minus 1,000 and not bouncing. So here's the minus 1,000 level. It came as high as 215 and as low as minus 1725. This is really weak. What the Fed said yesterday has the markets down today. It was extremely overbought. We stayed with that trend, and then this reversal we've had some losses on this reversal because we stick with the trend until it reverses. And so now we're starting to get some short trades going. So I'm going to finish going over the trades. So Cobra 3 mini S&P minus 1,800 just stopped out on Cobra 3 mini NASDAQ minus 625. Needed a bigger stop loss on that. Adaptive moving average, which has struggled with the chop the last couple of days. It's one of those things, the market chops when it's supposed to go one direction, but the other direction is fighting it. Just a lot of back and forth fighting up here at the highs, and so we see that finally rolls over, at least for today. And so you see a nice entry. The market moves higher at the open, and then we get short at a nice price, plus 3,100 intra trade. Night trader, really, it's the third loss in a row. We had last night was a loss, and then last night we had 2 losses in a row. Rare to see 3 losses in a row like this. Really tells you something about the market, that this is a long only strategy. It's a very tricky. It's been a tricky market to trade. So we opened up this morning with a lot of long losses overnight, and then now we're making it up on the short side. We'll see how the short side continues, if it continues throughout the day. So you have 60-minute breakout that lost last night, night trader that lost, and then those are the trades in this workspace. Again, Cobra 3 and adaptive moving average are making up for those losses right now. These hold till the end of the day, so we'll see. Adaptive moving average can reverse. Cobra 3 will not, and so it's either going to stick with its stop loss or end of day exit. All strategy access 2, big trade in tick pulse in QV12 just got short. Plus 1,800 on that trade. SR counter trend 2 NQ plus 785. 60-minute breakout last night, minus 1,025. Now these two strategies are not in the 36 stock index portfolio. You have those if you have access to those, but these are in the 77 all strategy access portfolio and the 52 strategy golden stock index portfolio. QS3 mean reversion from the open, lost on that trade, minus 730, plus 475 on SR counter trend 2 V2 5-minute and 15 minutes, both hit their profit targets. While the 1 minute was stopped out, the M version of this, I started to roll over. By the way, today is rollover day. Roll over your contracts wherever you see a stock index symbol. Only change the data 1 from M to U if you're in TradeStation, and if you're a NinjaTrader, you're going to change that 06 to 09. And So you see these are the trades in All Strategy Access 2, All Strategy Access 3, Cobra Euro plus 318.75, Asia Gold 4, surprising that gold didn't follow through more last night, minus 1,000 on that trade. Soybean swing minus 1250. They had the crop production report today as well. Big trades in crude oil, plus 1,100 on the conservative Cobra crude, plus 1,900 on the aggressive Cobra crude, minus 1,025 on Asia Gold for 2020 version. All Strategy Access 5, no trades. All Strategy Access 6, lost on ES after hours. These are some of the big losses last night, minus 1325. And then short, we had short. This one really got chopped up yesterday. It got chopped up initially today and then had a short for profit target. Just got short again. And so working on making some of those gains back. This is a new strategy and it's getting initiated pretty good. So pretty steep drawdown. Not worst case drawdown, but pretty steep initially. So you know, we've been out of sync with this. When the market changes from a strong uptrend to a strong downtrend, sometimes it's very choppy. And we've seen that in the last 24 hours of trade. And so All Strategy Access old, there's this one, the gap continuation 2019 is up 2,400 on this trade. And this is in the All 77 portfolio, and it's also in the stock index and gold micro portfolio, which you can also trade with mini. So gap continuation 2019, short with a nice trade. One of our biggest mistakes in the 25K 2020 portfolio is removing the 2019 version. It's outperformed ever since we've transitioned to a more conservative version, and so it's missing out on this trade. Again, on this portfolio, you had the losses in Night Trader last night, minus 3,000. Losses in E-mini NASDAQ, minus 625, with a around break even on soybean swing and plus 1,000 so far in Cobra crude. And so steep losses yesterday, steep losses today. Sometimes those steep losses are good points to get in. We still are up on the month. We were 2 days ago, it was up 7,500. It's given a lot of that back. And so when you're up and you have a steep drawdown, that can sometimes be a good starting point if you're not in on it, or it can be a good place to add contracts if you were waiting to add contracts and are capitalized to add contracts. And so this is the midday report. A lot of volatility is back. Really hard to trade. Sometimes a massive strong uptrend followed by a massive fast reversal to the downside.